Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at some of these coins. Just mainly going to look at Bitcoin, but I suppose what I'm about to say and what I'm going to say I think will transpire onto all coins. And before I say that, obviously I don't want anyone to go crazy about what I'm about to say. But obviously I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. It's my take on the market and what I think is going to happen and the way I would like to play it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's correct. All right. Now, what I've been looking at, and the way I suppose to work out if we're going to go through any kind of, I suppose, sustained movement, whether it's up or down, is to start by going on the longer term time frames and then move it down to the lower term time frames. So we've been in this sideways channel for a long period of time, and my expectation is that we're largely going to play within this inside range. You know, I've been saying it for a long time now, and this is still what's going on with it. We test the outside range. There's also a possibility that we test the outside range to the top, which is 49,000. I think we're gonna try an attempt to get towards that, if not that top area, over this next month. I'm not saying that it's definitely going to happen, but I actually think that there's more chance of us going towards here than there is down here or lower. I know how that sounds, because obviously people are, obviously bearish, and people think the market's over, and it could be. If we start closing weekly candles below 33,000 again, we've not actually closed one below there, but a weekly candle body closed below 33,000 is bearish, and it does give us a little idea of a potential bear market could be in play. But until that happens, we're still playing within this range. So the weekly is, I wouldn't say bullish, but it's holding on to that green 50 exponential moving average. This is what I mean. So we have to close weekly candle bodies above this green 50 exponential, 33,000 give or take. I mean, it moves up a slight, tiny piece every week. I mean, at the moment it's about 33,500. So we're still above there. We've been closing weekly candle bodies above there this entire time. So that to me is bullish, right? Not bullish, but not bear market. It's not a bear market. Now, the Ichimoku cloud told us that this current trend came to an end. The trend that began down here came to an end. We got that confirmation over here. But I think, this year it will go into another uptrend, a more significant and sustained one. One that could push us up to the levels that people dream about, between 100,000 to maybe 200,000 Bitcoin, right? I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen. So what we're looking to establish is, all right, the weekly is still holding on to that. Will it or won't it go into bear market territory? At the moment, it's refusing to close below that level, which is good. The daily is basically sideways, as you can see. It's not much to write home about. It's got this death cross here. We do have a conversion baseline cross here for the short signal, which was cancelled out just yesterday. So yesterday that short signal does not apply anymore. So the short signal for the Ichi cloud is over. It's not relevant anymore. Doesn't mean that it can't come down. It just means that when entering into this position, wherever that would have been at the time, if you would have managed to catch these wicks, it's not relevant anymore. The Ichimoku cloud tells us to get out of any situation, and we always thought that this was going to be a weaker short signal than the ones that we got back here. So this was the weaker short signal, and now it's over with, so we don't have to particularly worry about shorts as far as that indicator is concerned. So that's over with. This exponential death cross is what it is, but as we've looked back in previous times when we've had these exponential death crosses, we do have them, but they're more or less at the end of an already existing consolidation. So all that into context, we're still sideways, we're still pretty nasty as far as price action is concerned, but this is what it is, and this has now been cancelled out. So let's look to the lower term time frames. Let's go to a 4-hourly. So the 4-hourly is brewing up and has been brewing up. Well, first of all, it popped. It did a signal already, which basically carried this one. So there's two ways to play the Ichimoku cloud. One of them was to work out, is this green? Yes, it is. Do we have a cross? Yes, we do. Is the Chiku span above the cloud? Yes, it is. And what's the next thing that we look for a continuous trend? Well, we look for more or less the same thing. Don't care about what colour the cloud is, but we're above the cloud, the cross is above the cloud, and this Chiku span needs to be above the price action, which it could be, if not today, but over the next few days. We'd have to really come down low, lower than this cloud anyway, I suppose, 34,000 for this to not for it to not work out. So if we do get this confirmed signal, which could be as early as the next 4 hourly, taking the next couple of hours, then that would be a signal worth playing. Doesn't mean you have to buy in or go massive leverage at the top of the Bollinger Band. You'd have to be crazy to do that. Let's face it, we're coming towards the top of the 200 exponential here, so we could easily get rejected from all of this. We are obviously thinking about toying with the idea of buying at resistance if you're doing that. But on the next pullback, even if it's not going to be very big, it could be an interesting area to buy from. Now this is just the 4 hourly, and it's the 4 hourly that's given us the signal. This on a 4 hourly is not going to give us the biggest move in the world, but it would give us a signal to suggest that we could go on to move up higher for the daily. And the daily could bring us up to 39,000 pretty easily with that kind of signal over the next week or so. All right. Again, the signal's 2 hours from being confirmed, and it could even take a bit longer than that, depending on where the price action is in 2 hours' time. So if we think about that, so that's all quite positive. So the short signal's cancelled out. We've got a long signal brewing on the 4 hourly for a continuous trend on a 4 hourly, which could offer a 10%, 20% maybe move. And then on the daily, we're at we could move up to the top of this inside range. And if we break out of the inside range, we go towards the outside range. That could lead us all the way up to quite high up. Now, obviously there's a lot of areas of other rejection here. We've got areas like here, 46,000. We've got these exponential moving averages here and simple moving average here. Even the cloud itself is resistance. So there's a lot above us. But I'm actually quite hopeful. Looking at the oscillators here, I mean, this is a bullish divergence on the daily that's been going on since the breakdown, which is nice to see, so that's good. The MACD's turning up, even though it's not above the 0 point, but it is turning up, slow and steady, that's okay. And the money flow index, kind of neither here nor there, but it is also turning up. And if we go to the weekly, for what it's worth, we can see that there is bullish divergence on the weekly as well. Only very small, but it is actually there. So I'm actually quite hopeful at this stage. And, I did think that this would be an accumulation zone, and it might not be. Obviously, this could break down, no problem at all. Remember all these areas of resistance which could break down. But from what I'm seeing is that there is a chance that even if we are just in this accumulation zone, and it's, or even if it's just sideways, we've been spending the majority of the time in the inside range with touches now down to the outside range. I think it might want to go at least to the top of the inside range, if not make an attempt to go all the way to the top of the outside range. That these kind of moves can take a long time. This could take a couple of weeks, but there are some little telltale signs to suggest that that might be the next big play, would be to the up rather than to the down. But overall, there are plenty of reasons to suggest that we will be rejected on any opportunity, if not the first opportunity. You've got all these opportunities to get rejected from. So look, if it's something you wanted to play, you have to play it carefully. But if you're in it for the long haul and you've been accumulating in this accumulation zone, it's just a matter of sit back and enjoy the ride. I think that the ride could actually take us up quite high. If it should at least take us up to the 200 exponential, which is currently just short of 40,000, and if that does break, I think there's every chance that it could make its way up to 49,000. Anyway, like I said, I'm going away for a few weeks. I'm going to take my rubbish little laptop with me. I will make videos every day, if I can. I probably will be able to. And what I'm thinking of doing is focusing on some of these, any altcoin that we don't normally look at. So I'm happy to take requests. So leave the comments in the description below, and I'll wade my way through those requests and see if there's anything worth talking about. I'm now getting more interested in using Kucoin as well. So if there are certain Kucoin charts that you want me to look at, just give me a shout and I'll look through them. But I won't just make them for no reason. I'll look at the chart, but if there's nothing to write home about, nothing to say, I'm probably not going to not going to talk about it. It'll have to be something, I suppose, worthwhile or interesting. But anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.